No, Suleiman said one day, after Aisha has criticized him once again. I can't take this anymore, I'm leaving. Just as I said I would. Aisha was heartbroken. Once upon a time, in a small village close to the mountains, there lived a woman named Aisha. Aisha was a kind and gentle soul, but she was also a bit of a control freak. She liked to have everything just so, and she couldn't stand it when things were out of place. This extended to her husband, Suleiman, who was often the target of Aisha's constant nagging. No matter what he did, it was never good for her. "You're doing it wrong," she would always say. But that's not how you were supposed to do it. It seemed like nothing he did could please her. One day, Suleiman had enough. "Aisha," he said, "I can't take this anymore. I can't live like this, being consistently criticized and corrected. I'm going to leave you if this doesn't change." Aisha was shocked by his words. She had never imagined that he would leave her. "Please," she said, "don't leave me. I promise I'll try to be my better. I'll be less critical, and I'll let you do your thing to your ways." Suleiman thought about it for a moment. He loved his wife, but he was tired of being under her constant scrutiny. Suleiman decided to give Aisha a chance. "I'll stay," he said, "but only if you agree to a condition. If you criticize or correct me again, I'll leave. No second chances." Aisha nodded. "I agreed." She said, "I promise not to criticize you or correct you again. I'll try to be a better wife." And so the two went on with their lives. At first, Aisha kept her promise, and Suleiman was happy. But then, little by little, the old habits kept back in. She would make little comments here and there, saying, before she knew it, Aisha was back to her old ways. "No," Suleiman said one day, after Aisha has criticized him once again. "I can't take this anymore, I'm leaving." Just as I said I would. Aisha was heartbroken. She realized that she had made a mistake, and she begged Suleiman to stay. "Please, my husband. I'm sorry, I'll do better. I'll try harder. I love you and I don't want to lose you." But Suleiman was firm. It was too late, he said. "I can't stay in a marriage where I feel so bittered, belittled and controlled. I need to be able to be myself, to be free to make my own choices. I'm sorry, Aisha, but I have to go." Aisha watched as Suleiman packed his things and left the house. She felt a deep sense of loss and regret. In her desire to control everything, she had lost the one person she loved most in the weeks and months that followed. Aisha worked on herself. She sought counseling and worked on her own issues, and slowly she began to change. She learned to let go of her control and to accept herself and others as they were. As she changed, something wonderful happened. Suleiman began to notice the difference in her. He saw how much she had grown, and he began to miss her. One day, he called her and asked if they could meet for coffee. Aisha was nervous, but she agreed. They met at a cafe, and they talked for hours. Aisha told him about all her changes she had made, and Suleiman told her how much he missed her. They both realized that they still love each other, and they decided to give their marriage another chance. Years later, Aisha and Suleiman were sitting on their couch, watching the sunset. Their children were grown and had families of their own, and they were content. Aisha looked over at her husband and smiled. "Do you remember when you left?" She asked. "Of course I do," Suleiman said. "It was one of the hardest things I ever did, but I'm so glad we got a second chance." Aisha nodded. "I am too," she said. "I wouldn't have changed a thing," and they sat together, content in the knowledge that sometimes the best thing in life happen when we let go of our need to control and instead open up ourselves to love. For Aisha and Suleiman, that lesson had been a hard one, but it had been worth in the end. They had learned that sometimes it is best to just let go and let love lead the way, and that in the end is what made all the difference. So today, I'll be talking to you about patience and submission, control as well. On one hand, it can be helpful in certain situations, like when we need to set boundaries or maintain orders, but on the other hand, it can be damaging and even destructive when we take it too far. In the book of Proverbs 16:32, He who is slow to anger is better than the Almighty, and he who rules a spirit than he who captures a city. This verse teaching us that self-control is more valuable than the ability to control others. In addition, Galatians 5:22-23 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control." This verse highlights the importance of the fruit of Spirit, including self-control in our lives. We can see from these verses that God values self-control, but not in the sense of controlling others or our circumstances. Instead, He values us learning to control our own heart and mind. When we do this, we can truly experience peace and joy, and we can live in a way that honors God. Thank you so much for reading my story. I have come to the end of this story. I'm sure most of you enjoyed the story. I'd love you guys to keep watching my stories and keep supporting me so I can keep giving you amazing stories. Folktale stories that you would love. Don't forget, guys, this is just one of my stories. You can click my channel. You can check out my channel for more of my stories. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, drop a comment under this video, and kindly subscribe for more amazing folktales African stories. See you guys on my next story. Bye, guys.